Good morning, everyone. This is Monica Graves with the Purple Mountain Group here in Colorado. And it's a beautiful day here. I hope your day is beautiful wherever you are. We've got sunshine and fall colors coming in. And today's actually the fall equinox. And so I think that's cool that we get to discuss our mindset going forward for this week on September 22nd. All right, so today, this is a great topic. We are going to talk about how to transcend yourself. And transcending is a great sort of a metaphysical, spiritual type of thing that you can do. And we're not just talking about transcendental meditation, which is a great thing for you to learn if you're not already doing some type of meditation. But this is going to be more about how to transcend yourself into the highest possible self that you can be. Okay, so we are going to, let me see if I can get my screen to share here and get my PowerPoint going. And let me get the slideshow. Current slide. Okay. Can you guys see this where it says transcend yourself? Okay. Fantastic. What I did is I always watch YouTube videos, and I'm sure you guys do too. And I try to watch YouTube videos that are motivational. And this one is about 15 minutes long, and it's by Jordan Peterson. And if you don't know who Jordan Peterson is, he's pretty well known out there as someone. He's a psychologist, and as a psychologist, he studies the mind. And I figured for Mindset Monday, let's go forward with a great inspirational type of, topic on transcending yourself. Okay. So if you can, I would definitely go and watch this, and it's called Transcend Yourself. And you can plug it in, to YouTube, and you can just go watch it after this. And like I said, it's 15 minutes long. It's got some great background music, great information on who he is. And that way you can check it out. Okay, so talking about transcending yourself, the core message that I want to talk to you today is all about life. Okay, so again, there are some things in life that we suffer, whether it's challenges that we have with a job, challenges with a marriage, challenges with death, life and death, health. But what you can do is actually look at the meaning of responsibility. And when I talk about responsibility, I separate that word into two words: response, ability. And the best thing that you can do if you want to really start to transcend yourself is create and follow a calendar of things that you want to do. So if you put together a calendar of things that you have to do, right? Like things that you have to do in your business, why don't you start adding things to your calendar of things that you really want to do in the aspect of life, enjoying life, whether it's I'm going to exercise, I'm going to travel, I'm going to, for example, I'm remodeling my house right now, which is something that we want to do, okay? And it's not something that we actually need to do, but it's something that we really want to do. And so we've got on our calendar, right, the day that our floors or wood floors are being installed. Today, you might hear a bit of noise in the background because we are actually putting in a hot tub. So we've got some cement being worked on, and, we put it on the calendar. Today, they're coming out and they're going to break up the old concrete, put new concrete, and install a hot tub. I'm just giving you some ideas of things that give your life some meaning, okay? And also when it comes to growth, from transcending to who you are today, is look at goals. How can you create more goals for yourself? Because if you wake up every day and you think, what am I going to do today? As so many people are bored, so many people are lonely these days. And it's all about, um, they haven't got goals, or they haven't set goals, because if you create more goals for yourself, you're going to give more meaning, and then actually you can transcend from the growth that you are today and growing into that higher self. So aim higher than your current self. And what I always say, and this is a great thing to think about, is try something new. Is there something that I could do that I can work on my brain, work on my health? So always try to do a little bit more every day than what you are currently doing. And guess what? It adds up. It's like that compound interest, right? It just keeps adding up. So when you talk about responsibility again, give it some meaning. Avoid victimhood by taking ownership. So many people in this world today are victims. They just wake up, they start complaining about everything that's going on in their life, and victimhood can take over. It can take over your mindset. And if you've got people that are treating you a certain way, stand up for yourself, okay? Avoid victimhood by taking ownership of who you are. And when we say carry the heaviest burden you can, but don't be a martyr. Don't say, I'm doing this and telling people how bad things are because you're carrying this burden. Take that burden, take it upon yourself, and do something about it. Just be a good person. If there's people that are sucking energy out of your life, you don't have to be around them every day, right? If they're doing something that's causing you hardship, stand up for yourself. You wouldn't believe how many people just want that to happen. They want you to actually stand up for yourself. They're trying to criticize you or trying to do something to make you feel bad. But then once you stand up for yourself, they're like, oh, okay. Now this person has communicated with me. And then once that communication opens up, you wouldn't believe how maybe a friendship could happen. All right. So again, responsibility. It gives your life direction. It gives it some depth. If you aren't taking responsibility for your own self and for your own things that you are doing, you're sort of letting your life just go into all different types of directions. So that's why I say a calendar is great, because a calendar can actually show you, here's what's going to happen today. Here's the way my time management is going to happen today. And you won't believe how many more hours you can actually build by looking at you are taking responsibility for your work, for your life, for your children, for everything that you've got going on. You would give yourself so much more depth in life by taking some responsibility for it. So a lot of times it takes courage, right? There could be so much chaos going on in your life. That's why I like my calendar, because when you have things set up and you've got this time management going on, a lot of times what I do is I've got about 20 hours a week of my structure. And then you'll get a phone call, right? You'll get a phone call that takes it off into some chaos. And you've got to remember to bring yourself back to that structure, because life is so unpredictable. And every day, especially as realtors, we face challenges with working with people, working with all different types of people. And so I would encourage you to take the DISC profile and that DISC assessment, because that's something that EXP offers for free. Because when you do something like that, you have to have the courage to look at yourself and say, this person has this certain type of personality, and I've got this kind of personality. So what is it that's clashing? And maybe you can adapt to the way that things are going based on the way that person is doing something. I am closing a huge deal on Friday. It was just one of the hardest transactions. And I was getting along with it's a divorce situation, and I was getting along with the husband for a while, and the wife was just being really nasty. And then all of a sudden it switched to the wife saying, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much, because I know that this is really hard when we've got this divorce situation and they're just yelling and bickering and so hard to try to make decisions. And I just sort of became transparent in that aspect of the things that they are saying are not against me, even though they feel so much chaos in their life and so much fear. Really, they're selling this $3 million house. It's just amazing, and neither one of them wanted to sell it, but they're forced to. And so I brought order. I brought order into it. It was very challenging, but I was able to step into that unknown. I was courageous in that aspect of, you know what? I am going to get this done no matter what. And every time they say something nasty, I would smile instead of get angry. And so I just want you to know that you have to have the faith. You have to just do it sometimes, and then just step into that unknown. Guess what? You might fail. But what if you don't? Okay? Always think about that. When you're scared of doing something, go ahead and try it. And again, you might fail, but you'll learn from failing. And I always say, but what if I don't fail? Right? What if I go for this? And what if I succeed? So always aim for the highest good. I want you to think about it when you're looking at your goals. I want you to set your sights on something that's greater than you. We always call it, when I'm helping others set goals, that biggest, scariest, most highest goal. And then ask yourself, why? Why do I want this? And once you have the why in place, for example, I'll give you a good example. I really, really wanted to, this year when I had both of my boys going into college at the same time. And what was happening is it was going to cost, right? It was going to cost so much to have both kids in college at the same time. And so that goal, because I had my one son coming in, one was a sophomore, the other was coming in as a freshman. And so I had a goal to have a certain amount of money that year. And when my why was bigger than the goal, right? Because the goal was hundreds of thousands of dollars that year. And my why was to get them in school. My why became bigger. My why to do this for my children, to help my children with this education, became so big that it helped me and motivated me to earn that income. And that year, it was amazing how much income I increased. I won all kinds of awards from increasing my sales volume that year. And it was because I had a why. So I want you to look at that. When you're setting your goals, what is your why? And always put that why in front so that it'll help you to reach those goals. And again, improvement always comes by aiming upward aiming for the best thing that can happen, and look at your vision. Have a vision statement, have a vision of, and it was really easy for me to visualize seeing my kids in school, seeing them graduating, seeing them going into fields that they really wanted to be in. But it also, I visualized that money. I visualized those closings. I visualized me putting that money into an account for them. Okay, so every step is going to help you if you are moving with discipline and sacrifice, but it can't happen overnight. So many people get discouraged when they set these goals and then they want them to happen really quickly. So I want you to look at that discipline aspect of it. And really, if you have to make sacrifices with your time and efforts to make these goals happen, well, then you are going to have to work a little harder. And I always tell like brand new agents, because I remember being a brand new agent, I had my real estate license. I owned a mortgage company. I owned a retail store, and I had 2 young children. And people were like, how did you find the time to have, 3 businesses, mortgage company, real estate company, retail store, and 2 young kids? And I said, because of time management. And because I really wanted this. I really wanted to have these things in my life. And I really loved the income that was coming in. So of course I had people helping me, right? I had managers, I had tons of loan officers. And then I had my goals of selling and buying and selling real estate as an investor. So I just want you to know that it requires discipline. And I tell new agents when they say, oh, I just don't have enough time. I've got this part-time job. I was like, even if you have a full-time job, you can still go towards your goals of real estate. Work 60 hours, work the amount of time that it needs. If you have a 40-hour job, 40-hour a week job, do 20 hours of real estate and the other hours that you're off. Okay, it is possible, but sometimes you do need to have help. So again, transcend yourself. Be someone that you admire. This should say quit, but it says quit. Quit feeling sorry for yourself. Okay? Quit critiquing yourself so negatively. Be someone that you admire. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I admire you. You're doing the best that you can do. Okay? Outgrow that yesterday's version of yourself and start looking at things that are actually working. Okay? And then just keep making changes. Keep growing. Because if you continuously have this self-transcendence, things that are going right for you, they're going to keep happening. Because all of a sudden you've transcended yourself into this person that you really like, that you really admire, and people like you. If you admire yourself and you love yourself, guess what? Other people are going to do it too. And so you're going to start attracting more business. You're going to start attracting more people that are going to help you with your business, with yourself, with your goals, because of how you feel about yourself. All right. So that's the biggest thing about transcending yourself, is finding that meaning, who you are, and continually do things that are transcending you into this better person. So again, we talked about responsibility, right? Take responsibility for those small daily actions, the things that build up. Okay, so if you're talking about you want to lose weight, it takes a little while, right? But you start doing the little things that you need to do to lose weight. If it's something about saving money, start small. Okay, save a few dollars a day, then it compounds into a week, compounds into months, and then by the end of the year, you have saved enough money so that you can do the things that you want to do. So we're doing that for a trip to Italy, which is going to be in June of next year. And so we have started saving like June of this year so that we can make that happen. Pursue truth. This is so important. when you've got something and you look at the truth of something and then you say, you know what, let's don't go there. Let's do this because it's a little bit easier. It's easier for me to not have that discussion with someone. It's more convenient. And what happens is that truth always comes back, right? It always comes back, and you're going to have to face it again. So whenever something is hard and you look at it and you say, well, I've got to do it. I've got to make this step. Take the hard way, right? Because it will be easier in the end. That's what I love about that book called The Slight Edge. If you've never read The Slight Edge, it's like you're almost there and you've done everything and you've taken those hard paths and you just have just a little bit more to go. And they said that 88% of people quit and it only takes one more step to get to that goal. So face what you fear, all right? Help others along the way, because when you have something that you fear and there's other people that might fear it too, but you're helping each other, it makes it such a beautiful thing to help others transcend as well. So we're getting near the end here, and maybe you take a screenshot of this because this is what I want you to work on. Definitely go and watch the YouTube video. Like I said, it's when you go to look, just type in transcend yourself. You're going to see like all kinds of great videos to watch. But I want you to take the time and either do it today, because you're going to have a few minutes after this. This is from 9 to close to 9:30, and then you can take a few minutes after this. Don't jump into your emails. Don't jump into phone calls. Just schedule the time right after this, because if you put it off, I promise you won't do it. That just happens. It happens. Maybe if you put it on your schedule to do it, maybe it would happen. Maybe you have a 9:30 appointment and you just can't do it. But take just a few minutes to yourself and write, okay? Writing your goals is so important. Tony Robbins, he, performs or speaks in front of millions of people each year. And he had one where there was 75,000 people in this arena. And he just wanted to see in the audience how many people had goals. Okay, so he saw all these hands go up, right? All these people said, yes, they have goals. Then he said, how many people have actually looked at their goals today? And a lot of people raised their hands. And then he said, how many people have written them down and have their goals with them today? And there was only about 1% of the people out of 75,000 raised their hands. He said it was such a small amount of people that he was able to just pick out somebody in the audience and have them come up. And he said, I would love to see your handwritten notes. And this guy got up, had it in his wallet, and he was able to read off his goals. So I encourage you to do things like that. Have your goals posted on a billboard. Like I've got this little push pin, cork board near my office, and I always have my goals there so that I see them. Have them in a notebook so that you can open up that notebook and look at it. Put it in your wallet. Put it in your purse. Put it in your mirror above while you're driving. You know how you have that little spot up there you can put things above the trying to think of the name of the thing that comes down when you're to block the sun. The visor. There we go. The visor. Put it above the visor so that you can look at it before you go into a listing or a buyer consultation. Okay? Because you need to be motivating yourself. What is your fuel? What is the fuel? What is it that gets you up in the morning and gets you going? I know coffee is one of my fuels, but what is the mental fuel? Right? When I get up in the morning, I always raise my arms into this big V, and I am like a funnel, and I'm sitting on the edge of the bed before I put my feet on the ground, and I am like, I am aware, I'm awake, I am aware, and I am alive. And that automatically gets me going. It gets me, motivated to get out of bed. And then I want you to think about what really excites you. Is there something that excites you? Like going to a concert. I love concerts. Seeing other people succeed. Is that something that excites you? If it does, then I encourage you to help others. Is it seeing that you get to save a certain amount of money? Does that excite you? Does money excite you? Just think about what is it that really, really, really excites you, and then you can have that goal so that you can move towards it. Where and when do you have that feeling that you are learning, growing, and meaningfully contributing? This is huge, because if you are taking classes or you are growing spiritually or mentally, and you are actually also meaningfully contributing, then you are going to transcend yourself, and you're also going to help transcend others. And I like this last one. How do you feel when you are doing something that you love? What is that feeling? For example, when you are, I love to travel. I love to see new places. I love to take photos of new places. And it makes me feel like the world is so expansive that I'm getting to enjoy something that I've never done before by being at a new place. And that feeling when you wake up and you're like, I get to go on a hike in this certain area, that it just makes you love the world more. So think of that. How do you feel when you are doing what you love? And again, it could be when you are talking to buyers, helping buyers find their first home, helping sellers sell their first home. Sometimes these things can be complicated, but it feels so good at closing. I love that feeling as well. Okay, so how do you feel when you are doing what you love? So take these questions, and I want you to work on them. And then the final reminder today is life's meaning emerges through responsibility. So again, if you're looking for the meaning of life, which is a huge question, the meaning of your own life, take responsibility for yourself. Have your goals. If things happen that push you backwards, get back up and keep trying. Okay, don't give up. Just remember that slight edge. It takes a little bit of courage, but just take responsibility and know that you can do it. Growth also requires aiming beyond yourself. Okay, so spiritual growth, mental growth, whatever it is, growth in your business, it requires you to aim further beyond where you are today. So never be complacent, right? Never just sit there and say, okay, this is good. Everything's good. Because once you start becoming complacent, you're going to see that things are going to start disappearing for you. So every single day, you've got to help motivate yourself. And then I want you to transcend starting today to build a stronger tomorrow for yourself. So again, go listen to the Transcend Yourself by Jordan Peterson. It's called Best Motivational Speech by him. And just listen and watch. And then after that, go to that little worksheet that I put together so that you could answer some of those questions, and just take a little bit of time for yourself today. All right. Because I think that today being special, when we're moving into the fall, it's a fall equinox. There's definitely some great energy out there. Take a little bit of time for yourself, and I encourage you to transcend yourself. Okay. So that's it for this week. Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to hearing from you. Email me. Let me know how things are going for you. Okay? Have a great week.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.